Thank you so much, Julie, and thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation. I think, and I'm going to speak as a woman, that in Kenya, I think we've made significant strides. I think the most important thing that we did for ourselves as a country was the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution that gave us the framework for inclusion. And when I think of, you talked about the 80s, and there are many things that people don't know about where women came from. I remember when we were in school in the 80s, a woman could not walk into a bank and open a bank account without the permission of her husband, if she had one, or her father, or a significant male other. Women were not seen as having personal agency. Today, women are at the forefront of economic growth, you know? So that's really significant. If you look at our history, where we came from in terms of political representation, it was a male-dominated field. Women who aspired to be leaders were considered somehow wayward because it was really considered a male domain. Today, we have women at every level of our governance, at the county governments, in parliament, in the cabinet. I see here we have 2 female governors of the 6 governors that we have in our country. So we're changing the face of what leadership, governance, and power looks like. When you talk about indicators in terms of education, maternal health, in terms of economic growth, I think we've made significant growth, and we need to appreciate that. We look at all the hardware that's been there, the roads, the railways, and everything. But even in terms of income generation, I think we've come a long way as Kenyans. So the young man talked about democracy, the freedom. You know, I really don't think we appreciate the kind of freedom that we have in this country. Angel sang about how Kenyans shouldn't insult their leaders on social media. The freedoms that we have in Kenya, the ability to be able to speak and express yourself, I think this is something that we take for granted because it's not available in many other jurisdictions, but in Kenya we do, and that's why I appreciate this conversation, because it's giving us an opportunity to be able to have a conversation and channel our energies towards talking about the Kenya we want, the Kenya we want to see beyond Vision 2030, but also to diffuse some of the tensions that are there, because we agree that we're having this conversation within a context of a lot of uncertainty in terms of employment, economic pressures, and all that. So there's also skepticism as to why is this conversation coming at a time like this, just a year before elections. But I think it's important that we have it now. That's why it's important that we have it now. So even the ability to be able to gather here together, to have that conversation, the president calling us as citizens to have a conversation about what the future of our country looks like. I think we've come very far, because usually it's always top down. It's presented to you as citizens, not calling you in to come in. Let's have a dialogue. Let's reason together, and let's vision our country together.
That's incredible. Thank you for that. I think it brings me to Betty. Let me come to you next. And, you know, we were at the forefront of a lot of dialogue over the past 20 to 30 years. And maybe one of the most important things about this country is the ability to sit together and listen to each other.